There has been a lot of speculation, and I mean a lot of speculation around the ODI futures of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Whilst once it was taken for granted that both of them would in fact be playing the ODI World Cup in 2027, recently there's been a lot of chatter around their futures and whether or not they'd even make it as far as 2027, given that they are, of course, only one format players, and there's been rumors coming from a lot of places that potentially they'd be looking at winding up their careers sooner rather than later. Of course, for a lot of people, them making it as far as 2027 is logical, given that their form in that format has in Wayne, and the fact that, well, they're only playing one format, so really it should give them plenty of time to rest, recover, and recuperate and keep fit in this particular format. However, adding to the chorus of voices who are now having a little bit of doubt, let's say, when it comes to Rohit and Kohli's ODI future is Ravi Shastri, who, when speaking in an event at Australia, did say that perhaps one of the reasons that they're even playing the Australia ODIs is to potentially take a call and see if they're still up for playing the ODI World Cup. Here's what he had to say. He said that it depends on their fitness, hunger, and of course form. This series is very important. They will know by the end of this series how they feel, and then it's their call. What Ravi is essentially saying is that it's not entirely set in stone that both of them will be playing this World Cup. There's every chance that they could very well just take a call on things after this tournament and decide whether they're even up for playing ODI crickets for over a year before finally making it to the World Cup, which will of course be taking place in 2027. And this isn't something that he's talking about in an isolated manner, by the way, Ravi Shastri. He mentions an interesting example as to why it is he feels that this could potentially be a tester of sorts for Rohit and Kohli. He mentions Australian legend Steve Smith. He said it's the same thing with Steve Smith from Australia's point of view. At that age, you've got to enjoy it and still got to have the hunger. Now, what exactly is he referring to when he says you've got to enjoy it and have the hunger? Of course, he's referring to the fact that Smith called it quits from ODI cricket after this year's edition of the ICC Champions Trophy. You'd remember they lost in the knockout match to India, and thereafter he simply ended up announcing his retirement from ODI cricket, and you can understand why that's the case. I mean, he's already been a world champion in the format, and at this point he'd probably want to focus more on his favored formats, and with Smith there is undoubtedly test cricket. So what Ravi Shastri is saying is that Rohit and Kohli might very well have a similar approach, saying that okay, look, we'll go into this particular series, see how it is we're feeling, if we feel like we have the motivation, if we feel our touch is still good, and thereafter we can take a call on whether or not we want to play in 2027. As I said, it's just added to the chorus of voices because we haven't really heard that much from either of the main protagonists at this point. Yes, we've seen plenty of footage of Rohit Sharma practicing in the nets, and we know that he's undergone a fitness transformation, is looking a lot leaner. We also know that Kohli actually passed his fitness test, which of course was held in London. So there is a lot of indications that they are in fact looking at 2027, and one of the reasons why the speculation over their future still exists is because when they called it quits from test, it came as a bit of a bolt from the blue. So I think many fans are still perhaps worried about that being the case for their ODI futures as well, and perhaps that's what prompts Ravi Shastri to say that they're going to be treating the ODI series in Australia as a bit of a test. They're in the mix, but if they don't feel like they're up for it, then it's their call. What are your thoughts on this entire matter though? Do you agree with Shastri? Do you disagree? And do you think you'll see Rohit and Kohli playing at their best and potentially in 2027 as well? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, X, and Facebook, and stay tuned for more such updates from the world of sport.